All right, let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to do the Unconquered film session on the Florida State Virginia game. And just in full disclosure, I haven't watched this film yet, so we're going to be kind of working through on the fly and seeing what we got. All right, so we just have a basic zone run here. 3-3-5 looks like a quarters coverage. So let's see. You see the triple team here against the nose. That should make some space here. I think the backer is just a little late to trigger, so you should have one backer here, and this backer's got to be in the gap a little quicker. He's a little late to trigger there. It's not too bad. And then you've got your run support here and here. This is not good enough on the edge here, but it's not awful. He's setting that edge, it's fine, but like to see more compression. You know, if this is Jared Verse, for example, this right here gets set back into here and it closes down that space. So there's just a little more space because he's just a little light in the butt. All right. That's all right. Let's see. So now, again, 3-3 personnel. And looks like, again, a quarters type look here. You're going to have a guy coming off the edge to the split zone action. And again, they're split zoning. All right, well. And that's one where you've got a few problems here. We're going to look at this on the backside here, but your eraser here is supposed to be there, and he's going to come up, and he needs to be the one to make that tackle. He gets him, but it's a little late on that. Let's see. So we're fine here. This is fine. This is okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's opened up a little bit much by that double, but you should be able to have. Essentially, you've got that gets closed down here ideally, but you've got double support there, and then he should be able to peel back if this hits this is the idea. But he's got that. You got to get a better trigger here. And the other thing that you should be getting, so you should have this, and this needs to be in there. So we're just a little late on that as well. All right. All right, so little quarter shell here, kind of brackets on the bottom end. This isn't real good by the corner here. He's got outside third. He shouldn't be allowing himself to get turned around here. Actually, outside quarter, but he should be basically working back. I don't like seeing him have to turn that around. That's just not good enough. And this is my big concern moving forward is that just there's a lot of space, and we talked about this in the Alabama game. There's just a lot of space here, and if the quarterbacks make good throws, I mean that's a huge hole to throw into there with nobody in there. And I mean they get there, but that's just you've got to be a lot tighter than that. Now they don't have any sort of pass rush here. Well, they do actually. It's pretty good from Lions. It's not too bad. But we're going to move forward. All right, so still the same personnel, but 40 look here. Starting to press the line of scrimmage with the backers a little bit. And looks like you got a cover one robber type look. You're going to get this as your secondary support. And that's fine. Yeah, this is exactly what they're trying to do. Like this is default, 3-3 stack stuff. Just trying to ideally make that kind of pile and just bury stuff. That's what you're trying to do. Some good movement here. Good job taking on that double. So just making a pile. Just try to provide that, make that sit down. That's really good from Daryl Jackson. This is good football right here from that dude. Watch, get the long arm. He sheds and then tackle for loss. That is an NFL play right there. That is really impressive. Boom. All right. Yeah, that's grown man football right there. All right. So here you got a little boot action. Well, it's not quite a boot. So you just got sort of half roll or half boot. Yeah, so this is a shot play design, and normally you're going to try to hit this if you got it off of this kind of action. But what they're doing here, this is designed to try to hold your deep shot player here, and you're going to try to get this and throw that into this space. So they want him to sit on that and then try to throw it over his head. It's good design, but there's really nowhere to take this now. You can see he wants that. He wants actually, it looks to me like he's expecting some sort of outlet out here. Not sure what he's looking at. But he gets out there and then nice job running to the outside. Let's see where his eyes are. Where is he? Okay, so he is looking down here, and he's he just doesn't have anywhere to go. I think he expected somebody else in the flat. All right. So now you got five on the line of scrimmage, and you're going to bring all five in a 3rd and long situation. And boy, they do a great job in pass protection to protect Morris. This is really good by the offensive line. So just power rushing here on the inside, just trying to compress it pretty obviously. And they force the throw. It's good coverage. So 1st down. Got your backup defensive lineman in. It's pretty good here because this is just a high-low. This is basically a smash concept, but it's just a corner flat, and they're high-lowing him. So he's got to take away that and then rally. You got to rally to the football and tackle. So you're going to give this up. That's fine. Then you tackle. It's more than you'd like to give up on that, but that's okay. And this is one where you've got to get your hand on this here if he's going to try to throw it. It's just late on that. But as soon as this is just a read, and as soon as these guys are coming downhill, this is just a read. He's going to go here because it's 3 against 2 out here, which means that you're going to need to get major rally to the football from these others. Unfortunate that that's not a good throw. And throw kind of off because of the jump there. All right. It's actually pretty good coverage across the board here. Morris is really good. So he's actually full field reading this. He's reading high-low here, same concept they ran, and then you've got a little combo out here, and he's reading this high, low, And then he's reading this back to the backside here, where you've got, again, you've got this little snag type concept with a hank instead of a corner. And he hits the snag here. I mean, wow. That is really quick processing from the quarterback and putting it right in that spot. That's impressive. See him check that. He doesn't like that side. And then he works back. And the way this works, you're looking here, back to the backside snag, and he hits the snag and puts it right in. I might have gone with the hank route over the ball, but all right. So now you got a stretch. So outside zone with some with a split zone action. That's pretty good run defense there. Gain of 3. You can live with that. And that's good on the fight against the double team here by the 2 defensive tackles. And then you get your run support on time here. Should get it right through there. That's pretty good. That's not bad. I'd like to see the safety pull through with, wrap that instead of just throwing a shoulder. But okay, now you got inside split zone and cutting that back. That's good play. Defensively, that's not bad. And you can see they're stemming the backers after they show the initial look to cause some difficulty for the blocking assignments. And again, wow, this is so good from this time Lions. Backer's okay here. Leaving his feet. You don't want to leave your feet, but really good from Desir here on the edge. Working his way to the ball. That's good football right there. Got a little sluggo, slant and go, and this is excellent here by the corner. I think this is Rawls out there. Or is that Jerry Wilson? That's Jerry. Okay, that's pretty good. So once again, just curl flatten this. Or I'm sorry, corner flat. So they're just, again, high-low in this corner and trying to get this here. So against the 2 to your side look here, he's your curl flat player. He's got to read this a little better. Now, I mean, he's a spot dropper and then rally to the ball in the way that they play it. But the problem is here. This is good. This right here, I'm not sure why he's sitting here quite as much. If anything, I want him recognizing what's happening here and kind of mirroring here down and rally down. Because what you're worried about is if he races to the flat, then they end up going curl flat, and you're gonna get curl flat, and then this opens up as he makes that space. You got to rally to that faster, but the tackle's fine. It's a little bit of a speed limitation for Herring there. Okay, this is the first one in a while where they got gashed a little bit against the run. And you got, what is this? Playing with this a little bit. This is like a super split zone. I'll have to look at it backside. But some problems here on the front for Florida State. All right, so you've got 2 Apologies there. You've got these. So this is almost an oaky type front you have to think about in terms of edge, edge, and then you've got your traditional interior. But they're one gap in this, it looks like. Yeah, so they're one gap in. Now let's see what they're doing here. Okay, so this is an outside zone with split action and an additional splitter here. So you're going to get a kick out here, and then that's an additional thing. Maybe he's coming up. Yeah, so you're going to get this as a work your way up to the second level. And the way this is actually designed is they're kind of expecting this. He's going to press it, but they're kind of expecting this to hit back. And then you get this kick out and then the lead. But it doesn't even get there. It's a nice design. It doesn't get there because there's, yeah, this is part of the problem. So he's got to hit this hard. And he just kind of tries to come up here. You got to compress this. He's got to near leg, near shoulder this. Near leg. Don't run around it. You got to meet pressure with pressure. And then he's got to come here so that you're essentially minimizing the running lane right there. Boy, that's really good from Virginia's offensive line. It's not good enough here. It's not good enough here. This could be a little better. This is okay. And then you're expecting to get your secondary support here. Boy, that's really good from Virginia. Just a little bit off from Florida State's front and got some yardage out of that because of it. So now they're in a different 40 look, bringing a walked up backer. And then you don't set the edge and get some support from the secondary. It's pretty good there, though. So let's see. All right, this is fine. He's actually got to run through, and that's his gap. So he's here. He's here. And then you're going to work down and probably scrape there. Yeah, he's got to scrape across. So yeah, the way that this defense works, and one of the things that makes this defense hard to run against is that he's actually got the edge here against an outside run. And that's fine. I mean, but he's just got to be there. Little's got to be there a little sooner. But it's pretty good from your secondary on the whole. What are you doing? That's not good. All right, so the problem here, you've got just a little curl route, and then they're working with this back to the flat. Now, the way that this should work, they're going to high-low this once again. But the high-low, he's kind of been doing that. But instead what they're doing is they're working across, and they're getting this. So essentially that little inside, and then trying to, if you get somebody step up, maybe you hit that behind it. But here's what they're taking advantage of. They kind of put him in a position where he's seeing this. It's easy to widen. But the guy he's got to really watch is number 2 right here. So you got 1 and 2 and 3. Because he's got a vertical release, that's going to be on him, and he's going to have kind of underneath out here. So as he comes up, he's got to kind of mirror that and then rally to the flat. He's going to be here and then take anything inside. And then he should be looking at number 2. If number 2 verticals at all or comes towards the inside, that's him. And he kind of widens with it, looks out here, and he realizes, oh no, it's right there. But that's, I mean, eyes getting to the outside. He was going on the quarterback's eyes. That's a veteran 6th-year type move. That's really good from Chandler Morris. It's pretty good from Daniel Lyons here, getting out there, forcing him to change his arm angle. Still gets the ball out. And it's still basically a 3-on-2, but you've got some support from the inside. It's a nicely designed play here. You've been doing this split zone action the whole time. And then what they do that's really nice out of this is this has been split zone action the whole time. So you're kind of expecting this to be a kick out, and he's stepping up for that, and then he slips him. And then the next nice thing is that you're going to block this so that when he's coming out here, you're going to get that little cleanup right there. That's really well designed. Tip your cap on that one. So stick route, little hitch, that is. So hitch route. It's opposite hash. Gets it out there quickly. Got a tackle. Play under control. Where that's caught, you're perfectly fine. But, getting the extra 4 or 5 yards was the story of the night. So zone run here, split zone action. Their backs did a great job of running with patience here. So this is on Jenkins. He's got to have this gap. He lets the offensive lineman get to that shoulder and then gets turned and doesn't quite get to it. He gets him down, but that's first down because he didn't quite win that. 3-3 look. Didn't set the edge. That's a hold. So this is one you got to sell this if you're being held here. Can't let him just turn you around like that without selling it. Good play by the secondary. Might be able to see that hold there. Yeah. Woof. All right, I want to see this on the other side. All right, so they're in the process of shifting when this goes. Okay, so this has to compress more. This cannot get walled down quite like that. And looks like they're trying to get some sort of pressure here. So this should be covered by Lyons, but he's not quite into that gap because they're moving before the snap. And just got to play it better. Three on three out here, and this is just a run play for them essentially. And I mean, with the matchup you've got, this has got to be a win for your linebacker. If you're Virginia, you're counting on this being a win for your back, and it is. I mean, that was way too easy. Get upfield, and that's 6 yards. I mean, that should have been a 1 yard gain if you're tackling well, but instead, you whiff because you take a poor angle. Nice pursuit by Daryl Jackson. I tell you what, he's been impressive so far on this. Got a little screen here. It's not even really a screen. This is just because they're not releasing linemen. This is just a little swing type thing or flat to the back. Yeah, it's just a flat to the back where they just got beat up front, and this is just a good quarterback. So look at this. This is another shot play situation. Florida State gets big pressure, and this is when you're playing against a very veteran guy who understands his system. He gets this out, and FSU just does not have anyone in the screen for this. So I mean, this should be the guy that's covering this. So you should have him starting to match a little bit as there's nobody else to worry about over here, and then you're going to end up having him as an additional once the ball's released. That's a poor job by Edwin Joseph in terms of tackling, but it's a one-on-one there. Yeah, you don't want to see him break down like that. You want to see him sort of force him in one direction and then burst through that leg. Don't like the technique there. All right, now little orbit type motion, a return orbit, a little play action, and again they're trying for this is a really nicely designed play, and honestly Florida State bottles this up well. So what they're trying to do is hit this rail on the follow here. So this is a follow rail. So they're trying to clear out the corner and then hit this rail. They hit it later in the game down in the red zone. But Justin Cryer, give him credit here. He recognizes the guy he's responsible for here. He knows he's got whichever back shows first out of the backfield. He's got the second one if they go this way, and he's got first back going that way. He recognizes it, plays it over the top, and there's nothing there. And then they've got a blitz coming down. And you can see the way that they're doing this, he's going to step down and take that. I think this was probably going to come as a blitz if he stayed on this side. But now they're switching. As he sees this, he's stepping down to take that. And then when he disappears again, that's just an auto trigger blitz. There you go. At least that's what I think the call was. This is just the defense executing better than the offense was prepared for there. Okay, so now you're in a cover 3. And that, I mean, look, this is a baller throw from a quarterback. So look at where when he throws this. This right here, this is a throw that it's very difficult to persuade a lot of college quarterbacks to make. But this right here, there's the old saying, if he's even, he's leaving. You look at where his shoulders are, and you look at where he's going. The goal here is to throw this ball right into here, into the window that you are creating. It's going to be very difficult for him to get up under that because you're just going to layer this. You're going to put it inside too far for him to get to this way and too far upfield because his body is going to be in here and he's just moving too much there. This is, I mean, that, where does he put it? Right on that dot. I mean, this is not bad coverage when you're spot dropping and all that. That's pretty good. I mean, ultimately what you want to see is you want to see him wall this further and keep his body on it a little bit longer instead of just sitting there. You want, he's got to drop to that spot and then sort of wall it as you feel that pressure coming by. Don't stop there. Don't stop here. You want to kind of wall this a little bit further because the inside player is your real responsibility. You've got help here, so wall that. But look, you tip your cap right there. That's a really good throw on time. And again, he gets this out before you're going to get anything to the quarterback. I mean, they've actually got a win here from Darrell Jackson, but look at this where he's throwing this. He's already throwing this ball. Motion has begun. That's when you hear me talking about throwing with anticipation, and I talked about how he was an anticipatory thrower on the pregame podcast. That's what I'm talking about. He's not throwing to the man. He's throwing to the space and throwing him open. That's good. A little too much yard after contact here. Too much yards after contact, but you've got pretty good there from the Virginia offensive tackle and their defensive line here. You want to see the edge here, Desir, win a little bit more against the tight end to compress that down a little bit. And you want to see this step in just a little quicker. But all in all, that's pretty good, and it's very good from Darrell Jackson. So once again here, look how quickly they get this out. There's no getting there. I mean, Florida State gets a win here. James here, James Williams is in the backfield on almost a whiff from the left tackle, and it doesn't matter because the quarterback gets it out so fast. Now the problem here is coverage-wise, you got nothing underneath this. So because you've got the extra hole shot player here, you're kind of playing this over the top, and this is a can't go broke making a profit situation, and this is just too much space. There's 5 yards of space here to close down, and then by the time he catches it, he's still got 3 yards of space on either side, and you're looking at a 9-10 yard play. Nice win there from Williams. So once again, what you want in the 3-3 with what they're doing, this is fine. You see the big pile that's been made. You want somebody else to show here, pile that up, and force the back to go wide while you've got some hitters in the secondary that can come down and make this tackle. What you don't want is this gets carried down just a little too far, and now you have space right there. But the backer on the stack does step in. I would just like to see 31 finish this tackle right there instead of being dragged forward for another yard and a half. We talked about this on the podcast. Fib into the bound, so formation into the boundary. Fib here, fib bunch, and they're looking at that. And they're trying to run a little slip here. This is what they're trying to hit, is that and then that. But there's really nothing there. Honestly, at this point, Morris makes a mistake because he should have recognized that when they took this away, 3 guys ran with those 2. And if he gets this out here, right here, that still might score because you're going to have to get guys downhill at that point. Throws it away, but ultimately 11 was open there on the edge, and he should have taken it. You see him going, oh, come on, I'm wide open. Little bump here. Good play there by the corner. That's Jabril Rawls. Undercuts that. It's a bit of a gamble to undercut, but he does get his hand on it, and again, you've got a lot of guys running to it from the secondary. So this is the scramble that scores. And they bring 5. No, they bring 6. And ultimately, they just get out of their rush lanes, and he recognizes man coverage with a little hole player. And you just have a veteran quarterback who makes the right call. So the tricky part here, from what I can tell, is ultimately these two, they're trying to take away the shallow here. So he's stepping in to cap the shallow, and he's running with the shallow. But once he hands it off, he's actually responsible for the middle. And then on the inside here, you can't let these two split. You've got to stay in your lane there. And again, that's pretty good from the quarterback. I mean, you tip your cap to some degree, but you got to finish on those plays. Had a chance to get off the field. So they've started bringing pressure here. This is a 5-man. It's just a fire zone, basically. And this is honestly just panic from quarterback who played really well on the last drive, and this was a key play here for Rawls to get that interception. I think that's Rawls, right? So they bring 5, and they're winning at the point of attack. Now, Cryer needs to hold that edge a little bit better. Oh, no, that's Joseph. Okay. So you got zone. Sees the cutback. Okay, so James should be tighter to the line of scrimmage here a little bit, playing a little high, and then gets taken for a ride for about 1.5 yards, but not too bad from the front. It's pretty good here. Is that Desir? Yeah, that's just Desir here. This is pretty good here. You see him right there. It's not bad. So running mesh here. And this is one where honestly you're just you're not handling the crossers well. So mesh again, you're getting this and this. And the whole design is to force the players that are responsible for those to get caught up in traffic. And here's mesh crosser 1, mesh crosser 2, and who's responsible for them. And really what I would like to see is in this kind of context, you're in man, but I like to trade that off. So you're hollering, in. And as you get this, if you see the other crosser, you shut it down and you're hollering to him and he heads out. But the problem is what they're doing, they're running these as rub routes. So you're either going to get stuck here or you're going to get stuck there. And this is just hard to defend. I mean, you see him kind of get picked off by the official too. It's a good call. It's a very hard play to defend out of that kind of coverage look, and they knew what they'd get out of that personnel and formation. So this is one that also should have been a pick from the corner, but they do get the pick on the deflection. So this is basically a deep over. So you got a vertical here, you got a post here, and the deep over here, and you've got the flat route. And this is just the quarterback getting greedy because he should be reading high-low here. out of this. When you have that and that, there's just nobody out here. First down, this is a very poor decision from the quarterback trying to fit this in. And he really just should have gone here, and you're gonna make a profit. This kept Florida State in the game early. This allowed them to kind of reverse those fortunes. You see this. You see him presuming he's not really seeing this corner in the back. I think he may have lost him by seeing here. I don't think he actually saw him from this angle. I think he saw him, thought that he had run with, and then missed it. Bring in 5 again. Technique there is not the best. I would like to see Rawls not pop his hips as much and close that down. He's fast enough to be able to play that a little bit tighter. So high-low in this, and Rawls takes it away. So he's reading high to low. They're both taken away. Now he wants to come back here. This is good coverage from Florida State. The place where this probably is most natural would be to come here, but the official's actually in that spot. So then you should be working out to this right now. There you go. Good catch, and you get the first down out of a check down here. Understands the offense, and other than those 2 picks we just covered, really managed the offense well. So once again, I mean, time getting that ball out is minimal. I mean, that's just stealing there. That's easy. Just a little quick out, and you know that you're being covered here. You know he's got a deep responsibility. There's just nobody to get there. You can take that all day. Nice play there. Who is that? Desir. It's really good. This is just sort of poor luck. In position, you read the route. It's just a version of a levels type concept. You read the route, you're in position. I think he's playing a little too deep here. But he's in position, reads the route, gets his hand in there, and instead of knocking this down, that's what you get. And that's a whole lot of yards after catch. So inside zone. Safety's here, in position, comes and blows him up, but doesn't wrap. And this is not the only time that he didn't wrap in this game. And instead, you end up with a touchdown, and this is a backbreaker at the end of the half. Let's watch it on the other angle. So the nose there got, is that, yeah, that's Desir. The nose there got too high. So this is, the nose here gets too high and kind of gets ragdolled a little bit. Gets put on skates, and that ends up affecting the backer getting into the gap as well. But, you know, you've got a primary run support player right here coming from deep, and you just can't come up and throw your shoulder, especially against a bigger back. You got to wrap through that lower body. And honestly, I think everybody just stops because they think it's done. Yep. You know, Amari Williams is there. Basically the same stuff in that. Really good play by Desir. Inside zone. What is he doing? So your backer should have this. He's got that. I don't know what he's doing. Because you got here, he's going to have to handle that. It's not good enough. Okay, this is what one of the things that they're doing a lot is they're coming in with their receivers to kind of chip on those inside backers and so on, and they're going to force the outside player to be the run support guy in exchange. If you're the corner here, you've got to recognize that a little earlier and know that you're going to have the run support role. He's just not up there soon enough, and then that results in a pretty good game. Virginia's starting to win at the point of attack a little bit here. And you want these to bounce like this. This is fine. Let that secondary run to it. I did think 8. I think that's McCray here. I thought on the whole he was pretty good this game. Probably earned a little bit more time. So here you're getting a pin, and then he jumps inside. And if he's jumping inside and he's getting pinned inside, you got to think there's got to be someone who's responsible for that edge. So whether that's a safety, somebody's got to handle closing off this edge, but they got to the edge, and then that's just too easy. Looks to me like Herring here is in absolute no man's land. He's had a pretty rough go other than that interception. I just don't think he's where he's supposed to be there. Got a tackle. All right, so now just inside zone, and they're starting to feel this a little bit. So you got your double here. Your single here. So it looks like they're going to get this in terms of your oh, that's bad. All right, so the tackles are fine here, but the linebacker here, this is, he's got to handle this. This is bad because he's just waiting. When you see this double and you're responsible for this, you better get that and not let him get up to you. Don't wait on him. You got to trigger this downhill now. And he just waits. So should, I think, have him coming from here and then there. Might have a 2-gap here, which if he's 2-gapping, I understand why he's waiting, because he got the fold back, and he might need to wait on that, but this is a good run. Got to win here as well. That's the thing. You're in a position, get the hands out. A little bit of a hold, but that's never going to get called. Really good block here. If he's going to do that, you got to handle the replacement. And he does get the tackle, but it's just late. Okay, so you got outside zone, split action. A little too easy on the cutoff here. It's not bad right here. That's pretty good. And then working down the line. It's not bad. I can live with that. They go right back to it. Get a little bit of a double up to pressure. Double up to the backer. Or actually up to the safety here. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good execution just by the offense. You got to have somebody win a one-on-one there. Yeah, so you got these three are all taken care of by the action here. So, you got this. So they're all out. They're counting on losing the edge player. It's got to be here. He's just nosy. And that's just really good by the offense. So I think they're playing with him because he's coming downhill. So the way this should be, he's here. He's probably here, which means he's kind of here to here, and then he's here. So you should have that, and so that means he's got the quarterback. Should be. Actually, looks like they're doing this, which if this is a handoff, that disappearing act there, I mean, he's got it, but he should be here. And this is just really good, knowing that Florida State's not going to have the quarterback, but the safety's got to get over the top there. Classic cover 3 here, and they're going with the stutter go. Corner wins that, and the quarterback, I think he's just chucking this, knowing that the corner is winning, but corner almost gets there. This is better in terms of the coverage of the high-low here, handling the flat. This is pretty good from the inside, but here's the problem. You've got now this curl flat, and all they're doing is they're counting on this expansion. If he takes that flat away, and if these two stay where they're supposed to, this opens up a big lane right here. And if he's playing over top with some space, you've got this easy curl. And he's reading left to right. So he's reading this to here, right back to here on a full field read. This is, I mean, I'm telling you, this quarterback getting this out this quickly, this is his third read. So it's 1, 2, bang, gets this out, and he's sitting there. The problem again is that playing over the top. And the reason they know that he's going to be this far over the top is because he just was when they tried to stutter go him. So now they can sit down, and as long as he's playing over the top of this flat, there's something there. Now, for my money, I would like to see, again, ideally, you read this a little bit more so that he stays a little bit longer on that hash, and you force them to throw this flat route and rally to it the way you've done it before, because you know where this vertical is. You just kind of stay on that hash just a little longer, and you go. But, I mean, honestly, that's nitpicking, and I mean, at a certain point, you tip your cap. That's good football. Wow. Man, he gets that out quick. This is well covered on the trick play. And the corner kind of shuts down here. I see why he decided to throw this again, because the corner needs to stay on his hip the whole way, but he stops. What is he looking for? I mean, he looks over at the sideline. But if the receiver trusts this and stays with it a little bit longer, I mean, that actually might be a catch. But the initial win is enough, and not too bad. All right. Getting downhill on the zone. The backer on the backside is just late. You're late here, late to trigger here. The defensive line is fine here. This is backers giving up that much space. I mean, that's pretty good. You got the double on the backside here. I'm fine with what I'm seeing from the defensive line, with the exception I would like to see this compress more, but they're trying to get upfield on the pass rush, but and this is just too aggressive right here. So now James Williams, I think he had a pretty poor fourth quarter from my initial eye. Looking at this opens this up. The thing is, you've got to play through his outer half first. You can't just play this outside and give up that huge window, but they do take that away, and on third down, I understand it. So, you know, this is not that bad given that you've got help. So once this goes down, they rally to the football, and that should be a stop. They get to it. I mean, I'm okay with that. So now you got 4th and 3, and here's the key here. Once again, they know what they're going to get. They've got the bunch, and what this should mean, when you see this kind of bunch, you should know that these guys against these guys, that you need to sift this so that you're expecting something here where you're going to get a outside receiver coming here, where you're going to get, some walled off stuff. You should expect, that, and that. There's a variety of things, and you need to be able to sift this. If it's 2, it's banjo, but here you're just going to sift. But you sift this so that he's going to take whatever ends up outside. He's going to take any sort of vertical. So you read basically 1 through 3, and you take whatever comes outside. He's going to read 2 through 3, and he's essentially, or actually he should also be reading 1 through 3, and he should take anything that's vertical. And then he's going to read 3 through 1, and he's going to take anything that comes inside and then wall any vertical, and then he's just going to take over the top and cap it. So what you're expecting here, though, this right here, you know that you're going to get some sort of rub type concept. And at this point, as soon as they do that, that shouldn't change anything for you. You should still be reading through 3 through 1, and you should be sifting this. So anything that releases inside should be picked up right here. Anything that releases vertical, these guys, he takes number 1 vertical, he takes number 2 vertical. That's how this should work. So you get these 2 that release vertical, and you've got the communication. He should be jumping now because he's hollering in. This right here should be capped right there. But he doesn't do it. And see, he's got the back. This is in man. But the problem is they know they're going to be in man, and you just have to sift this. So as soon as he's coming inside, this all has to be passed off. You should bump over. And he should cap over top. So he should be the one running. The way I would coach this, at least. He should be the one coming to take this. So you're going to get that. And over the top. Make them beat you with this. So you're screening here. Make them beat you with this. And play these guys that way. But he should be coming forward now. And he should be calling in. And he should be handling this. And, the other way that you do this is if they are a heavy mesh team, which they are, you know that you're going to get a lot of this. You should run with that. And now you communicate back and forth. And you communicate in. He's going to stick with it. He's going to stay to the outside and potentially cap any sort of mesh, pass this off to the outside. There's a variety of things that you can do. So, if you see this headed to the outside, you might pass this off to right here and cap that. There's a variety of things you can do, but you cannot, let's see. Yeah, you cannot just let him run through the side and try to run over this. You can't. You can't do this, especially on short yardage. There's no shot you have to run over this when you've got this, right? When you've got this right here, he's got no shot of getting over through all this traffic. So you're going to have to either exchange here and trade somewhere. You're going to have to swap this. You cannot play this through. I mean, that's just so easy. Look at that. So they've got to get this fixed, or if I'm Miami of Florida, I'm doing this all week. Give him some bunch stuff and make him sift, and then, take the easy stuff. So you just lose out on a 4th down. So now you got outside zone split action. Shaheem Brown gets in there, gets a tackle. Boy, that's soft. You got to blow him up here. At least he wraps him. Really good from the front. So you got the two Desir twins and Daryl Jackson on there. You get the double on Jackson. And what they're doing is they're using the blitz to hit this B gap. And that blows that up. Now, Daryl Desir here gets kind of handled on the backside, but now you've got the safety slipping this. So at this point, they know they're in run mode, and they're taking advantage of that. It's pretty good up front. So once again, they go bunch. Now you gotta sort this. And see, this time they sift it. This time they do a better job. He's hitting to the outside, and he's just going to take it, and they're going to swap this. It's like a switch in basketball. Now, this is not perfect here from Edwin Joseph. He needs to be less active on trying to chase to the boundary. This should be an automatic read. And then on this side, you've got another man beater right there. They know they've got him in man because they're trying to come downhill on so much. But again, this is where, in this look, if he's playing out and he's playing in, even against man, you got to just start swapping that. And that's hard. I mean, get this guy on the ground. The other thing right here, go low. Get him on the ground. He gets 4 yards after catch. That's the difference. That's one of the differences in getting a first down or not. Fourth and 1. Boy, that's a good run. So same look that they've been given. Take that B gap. Getting the double here. Here. And because you're getting this, he should be tight to this, and he's got to be the hitman taking that. So you're coming inside. You're going to take that. So he's got to be the one to win here. And ultimately, what just happens here, he gets a little bit too wide too quickly. And the back does a phenomenal job of just waiting on this and staying tight. And if the backer here plays this just a little bit more patiently on the trigger, and he meets him here tight to this down block, then that forces him out to here, and you probably get the stop here. But he gets just a little too wide. He's playing this a little too wide, and he reads it and just sticks his foot in the ground and gets vertical. Boy, that's really close to a stop. That's a great run. The backer's just off, just a little bit. He's a half yard off. Man, their backs, I got a lot of respect for what they're doing in terms of their backs. And this is again on the backer. He's got this gap here. He's playing here. That's fine. I mean, this actually looks fine to me. But the backer gets... They get a guy to the backer toward his gap, and he recognizes now he's got to work his way over. And that's just a good solid run. I mean, honestly. More bunch stuff. And again, if I'm Miami, if I'm Miami of Florida this week, I'm doing a lot of stuff in bunch. So mesh here. And this time they do a good job of passing off. See, in and in and in and in and in. These two do a good job of passing this off. And they sit down. Now, they run mesh about as well as anybody in the country. They just sit this down, recognizing that it switched off, and then you try to spin inside. Puts it on the right shoulder. And then you just got to make the tackle. Got to get down low. Low man wins. Get down. Don't let him carry you forward. But they get 4 yards after contact. Whew. Another really good run. Now they're given ground here on the inside, and Jenkins has not been quite what I expected him to be coming into the season. Getting taken back into the backer there. You got your penetration here. Backer should ultimately be able to handle this. Let's see. He's working back here. So I understand what he's seeing. But the back makes him miss in the backfield, works his way back. And you just got to finish plays. That's fine. Can tell the difference when Darrell Jackson's on the field. That's all I got to say. Look at that. Wow. It's okay from KJ. Formation into the boundary, motion out of it. Still getting some fib there. But once again, what are you trying to get here? Get him on the outside. Get this little slip. And they're just trying to get the quarterback on the back edge. This is all designed to give you that option. And they just have no one ready for the quarterback. I mean, he is selling out to get to that backside. The way they've got this, he's got to have the quarterback. The total miss by the corner, and good design by the offense. They know that the way Florida State's trying to defend the run, they're starting to come hard after that back. But the way this is working, when he comes to get that kick out, you're getting this and this. He's got to compress the kick out. He's going to have to take the back. There's your quarterback, and the corner just misses him. He leaves his feet to try to get to the back, and the quarterback just has it. It's good read, and that's just an easy score. Now, there's a hold there that keeps that from being as easy a score. What are you doing here? Get your double with the rail. And the backer's just wrong. Got to peel this, and you got to cap this immediately. You got to play it over the top. What a throw. It's just so easy. Boy, they really took advantage of FSU's lack of speed at backer at times. Man, look at Darrell Jackson. Jeez. But once again, what do you do here? You've got 5 on the line of scrimmage. Coming off the edge. Clean. And the quarterback just reads this, and you have nobody left playing the quarterback. get an easy 6 yards. So you got here, and you got here. Here. And then he's your secondary support. He's got to play this, slow play this a little more and honor the quarterback. And just get suckered. Man, Darrell Jackson again. Jeez, that guy's a dude. Wow, look at what he does to the center. Wow. Darrell Jackson again, my goodness. Bro, look at this. That's just demolition on the interior. So downfield here, you got a 4 verts. And that is defended really well. Nothing there. Late game scenario. Four verts again. Oh, no, they don't. They've got 3 verts to this side, and they're going to run more of a corner flat over here. Corner does his job. Stand underneath that. Nice pick. End regulation there. And now you get to overtime. Lions with a pretty good shed there. Darrell Jackson. Boy, I tell you what, defensive tackle was not the problem in this game. Man, look at that. Darrell Jackson just and Lions here. Those guys just bury that. Hold. And this is just such a bad hold. Right here. That's not even close. And then they give up. Probably should have been called downfield too, but yeah, there's 2 holds. It's one right there and right there, both tackles. That's close downfield, but those 2 holds weren't close. So you get your stop there in first overtime. That's not bad. And then here, once again, they're running that little high-low they like to run, and you get a corner up into it. This is, I tell you what, this quarterback sitting this down, he puts it on the correct shoulder. If he puts this on outside shoulder, this is a pick. But he recognizes where he's got to go and leads him away from the corner. I mean, this is just good quarterback play. And FSU with the little blitz off the edge to take away the quarterback there. Quarterback run threat. So formation, little bunch to the outside. And now they're sort of similar to Gus's buck sweep. So just a little toss sweep here. Not getting the full buck, but just a toss sweep. Corner has to stay on his feet a little bit better here. Stay to the outside and cap this and get it inside. And the safety gets reached. But the corner and the safety basically have to do a better job here. The safety gets reached. Corner has to hit this on the outside And you just got to be physical and bury this while keeping your shoulder clean. You can't get upfield and kind of get knocked out. That just allows too much space, and that allows the first down. So this time they do a good job of having a guy for the quarterback, or at least he's in position to take the quarterback. Once again, there's not a whole lot of room on the inside. That's not bad from the backers and from the D-line. So now you're reversing the quarterback and the running back. This is very much a Gus Malzahn type thing. Direct snap. And you've got a offsides here. So they're blitzing into the motion. You got the offside. Get the first down anyway. So now they're doing the same thing, but with the quarterback taking the snap, getting the... This is a wildcat look. You got a unbalanced... You got your ineligible tight end on this side. No, he's actually eligible. He's off the ball. So you got your tight end. He's eligible, and then they're forcing the beef over here with the jet action. So then you're getting this and getting into the end zone. So just clear out, get this. And all they're trying to do is make this a read situation so that he's kind of who they're reading. If he takes the outside man, quarterback just runs. If he takes quarterback, then quarterback just sticks it on the guy. So now it turns into a block situation. I think you've got to have somebody else getting out here faster. So there's got to be more speed to the outside to handle this. It's a pretty good fight there from Edwin Joseph, but he's got to win there to the outside. Yeah, he's got to play this over the top a little more. Win to the outside, force the quarterback to come back inside if he's going to do anything while staying on this, and work him back to your... Just doesn't quite get there. So now you have your 2-point. That's a great throw. What is Shaheem Brown doing? And this is the hold they called. Called another hold on the backside here. No, they didn't call that. They didn't call hold here. They just called this one. Great play. And, look, the way I see it, a lot of this is Virginia executing at an extremely high level. Some of this is Florida State's linebackers did not have a good night. Some of this is the safeties also having some issues here and there, a little bit on the edges. But this is a hot quarterback playing at a very high level, and basically, essentially a scheme that worked really well to get that ball out and for him to do his thing, and taking some advantage of some space downfield and some backers that weren't always in their proper spots. But I mean, this is pretty good across the board in certain other areas. I mean, I think I'm less concerned about Florida State's defensive line coming out of this than but defensive line I feel much better about than I thought I would coming out of this. It's really just cleaning some stuff up at backer, cleaning some stuff up with some of the reads in the secondary, so that they can sift some of this stuff. See right here, I mean this. I tell you what, I mean the other thing on this one, I didn't notice this right before, but I mean with what he's got going on, they're completely turned out. I mean, if he gets this out here now, this is a score without anybody knowing what they're supposed to do. I mean, the two things, linebackers were a problem. The other thing is just handling any sort of switch concepts right here. Seeing these guys run this kind of switch concept. As soon as they get this sort of action, they're doing a terrible job of banjoing or switching or anything like that. I mean, he's trying to come inside with this guy while he's going over the top as well. You gotta communicate. So he passes him off. You see him, okay, out. You got to take him, and now you're in. So that's what they're doing. So that's what he's expecting. I'm fine with that, but both of these guys have to be on the same page, and they are not. He hits here, and it's like, oh shoot, what is he doing? And then he's turning back. Like, this should have been an easy one, but they were actually trying to get this first. But geez, like this right here, this is not okay. Oh. So that's the other thing. It's all the stuff having to communicate out of switch concepts, out of rub routes, that sort of thing. They've got to clean up that communication with a quickness. Because again, I think one of these guys is wrong. I would think he's right, and he's wrong based on what I see here. But he sees that he's coming with him, and then he turns. It's possible that the way they're doing this, that they want him to play over top and him to stay on, but they've got to be on the same page no matter what they're doing. Those two guys cannot be on different pages here and both covering the same guy for that long. But yeah, wow. Those are the things that in this game stood out to me, is just handling that sort of concept, and then handling some of the other stuff at linebacker. That's really where you got beat in this game, at least defensively. Offensively, we'll deal with that later. But that's how I see this.